Okay, I'm accepting the challenge of the funny Christmas stories because, from what I understand now, after being at Vintage and Vinyl and Katie and Angela's live tonight, I have to tell the Frosty story. So, friends of mine were moving, and her husband was pretty good painter and woodworker, so they had this massive Frosty kind of thing, Frosty the Snowman. The body was shaped, the three balls, the two balls, like a typical snowman. But it had the head that was absolutely 100% Frosty the Snowman. Big old top hat, pipe sticking out of the side of his mouth. Did he have a pipe? I don't know if he had a pipe. I don't remember. Because this was quite a few years ago. But the face was definitely Frosty. Now, I love vintage snowmen. Like really old ones. They're hard to find. You see Santa more than you see snowmen. But I've never liked Frosty. And I'm the generation that grew up with that cartoon. And I didn't like it. Give me Rankin Bass claymation stuff anytime. Not Frosty. So, anyway, they were moving. And so they had this 8-foot tall giant snowman. Well, now what? So they decided they weren't going to take it with them. They were moving to Florida. So they figured, why take, this big thing? There's no snow down there. And so they asked me if I wanted it. I said, sure. I got a kid. He'll think it's great. At that point, my son was little. He's 26 now, so we're talking quite a few years. But we had a storm one year, and the way Frosty fell from the storm, from the wind, the bottom part hit this big rock. Big rock like this. But it hit just the right way so that, the bigger part of Frosty from his butt, the bottom, is it a snowman butt or is it their legs when it's the bottom round ball? Discuss. Figure it out. So anyway, it hit this thing and went snap. So I'm left with this giant bottom part that's flat on top, flat on the bottom, has curved sides. So I painted that into a massive looking jack-o'-lantern. Had that for years. That was great. But I'm stuck now with this top half of Frosty. How am I going to do this? It doesn't look right being just one ball and the head. Looks really, really disproportioned and strange. So a friend was having a bonfire at her farm to benefit rescuing horses. So everybody was invited to bring stuff to burn. So I took this, not thinking anything of it. It's just a big chunk of wood to me. Well, I didn't realize I thought all the kids were in bed. That people had tents, had their families there. It was great, but I didn't think anything of it. And so I'm like, oh, I've got this other thing. And to get it into my car, we actually had to cut the head off. So now we have the top part of the body and the head as two separate pieces. So I don't think anything of it. I'm carrying the two pieces. I take it over to the bonfire. I throw the first one in. No problem. It's just the other part of his body. But then I threw the head into the bonfire. And I hear this tiny little high-pitched voice shriek at the top of her lungs. You killed Frosty! Oh, dear Lord. I think I've scarred that child for life. Here is this teeny little 5-year-old, all in pink and white fur on the coat, little frou-frou cutesy cute thing, and she's just in just shock and horror that I have killed Frosty because I threw his head into the bonfire. And she's just standing there. This little thing's hyperventilating. She's one of these petite little fairy children that looks like a good strong wind's gonna blow her away. And her dad was like, honey. And she's just, then you saw the lip. You saw that, you saw the lip quiver. Anybody that's ever been around small children knows the lip quiver. The lip quiver is death. The lip quiver is just the end all. It's the fuse to the bomb of the kid completely losing control. She just, I'm telling you, this kid's in therapy somewhere now as an adult. But she just, and then lets out this screech. Now, once she let out that high-pitched squeal, every adult in the place stopped in their tracks. You didn't hear a sound because everybody was like, what's that? And then she did it again. You killed him! You murderer! You killed him! You killed Frosty! And I'm going, oh dear God, this is just what I needed. But then you hear people trying not to laugh. Now you've got easily 60 people at this thing. And most of them adults, but a few people brought their kids. But this little teeny one was the youngest one there. And they had tents set up because they were all going to sleep there for the night at the farm. And you just knew this was going to be bad. But then you hear the snickering of the adults who don't want to hurt her feelings any more than they already have been. So they're all trying not to laugh out loud and failing utterly. Just failing. And you're hearing you know, that little snorting noises from over here and then over here, and then you're hearing laughing and going, oh man, don't upset the kid, don't upset the kid. And they can't. They just can't. Meanwhile, she is, by now, Daddy has picked her up and is holding her, and she is just sobbing her little heart out on her father's shoulder. She's just heartbroken because Frosty has been burned alive in her little mind. Oh, so somewhere, and I'm putting this on YouTube, it's going out in public, so somewhere I'm going to get sued for mental damages by some little kid who's now a grown-up. But yes, I killed Frosty. It's to my ever, I can't even think of the words, but to my everlasting shame, yes, I burned Frosty alive at a bonfire outside of Elton, Maryland. So, you know, if you have, you know, old Christmas things that are, God forbid, a Santa, but if it's got a face on it and you need to dispose of it, if you're going to burn it in the bonfire, for the love of heaven, make sure there's no small children around. You don't want to do this. So that is my Christmas story of the day that I killed Frosty. And I hope you guys have as much fun hearing this one as I am having in retelling it. Have a great Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I know I'm missing 2 or 3 other holidays that all happen about now. But whatever your holiday for this season, I hope you enjoy it. Have a good day.